brother John Mack in the building, aka Mindbender, here with Metro 360 News and Entertainment, ready to provide some serious commentary for those out there who are interested. Now, before I get into this commentary, this segment is very unique in its origins and nature. Specifically because the commentary that I've previously posted was singular in nature, and the commentary here deals with multiple images. Now, for this segment, I didn't choose to bring up every last person who emulated and imitated Tupac Shakur after his demise, but some key figures, more or less. And there are plenty of them still today who made a career off of sounding similar or just like Tupac Shakur. Man, the influence that this dude left behind is almost unimaginable. And as you can see here in this cover art, Suge Knight, Pac, and Snoop, when the times were good. When Suge Knight was ordering different color Rolls Royces for these brothers, and as Jimmy Iovine said, making hand over fist. Death Row Records was the premier label to be on, and their latest edition, Tupac Shakur, as Faizon Love said, didn't respect the general that brought him there. Calvin Cordor Brodus, aka Snoop Doggy Dogg, the Dog Father. But for that matter, Suge Knight didn't respect it either. But they soon learned. Now here we have Lil Boosie, aka Boosie Badass, which that name is synonymous with another member of the Dog Pound, Badass, who came up under Snoop, Daz, and Corrupt. We also know him for the Machiavelli album on White Man's World. Now, Lil Boosie recently got out of prison and started calling himself Boopac, and that's the reason why he made this list. Because no matter how hard a gangster you try to be, right? No matter how hard a gangster you try to be, you just can't be yourself. You got to be in the image of another man's light, and it didn't work out too well for him. Outside of the fact that Tupac Shakur had a box fade early on in his career. But that leads me to my next victim, Troy Ave, aka New Pac. And as you can see, the name of his album, Badass. I mean, you can't make this kind of shit up. However, ask Taxstone how much of a badass this youngster is. Maybe he'll give you some insight. But it goes to show, once again, what the industry is doing. You know what I'm saying? With no remorse. I mean, just unaccountable amounts of fake shit. And the one dude who we be like, yo, man, this nigga's wearing a dress and all that, Young Thug, you see, he's on trial for RICO. These other niggas is straight actors. Now this guy right here, this era might not be too familiar with him. This guy right here, his name is Crazy. And during the last scrapings of No Limit Records, he was brought on for whatever reason, as if they didn't have enough niggas on that label sounding like Tupac Shakur. They went ahead and added one more. I guess they thought it would help boost record sales. As they see with Death Row and the Realist, that was a bad look. But I guess it wasn't, because Rap-A-Lot Records would end up signing a guy named Zero. And we know how that went. However, crazy, he was another Tupac imitator. But then that leads us to Javon Jones, aka The Realist. The Realist, hip hop name before it was The Realist, was Tankamania. Now, the interesting thing about The Realist and him joining Death Row is the interesting long ties that the Dallas-Fort Worth area has with the West Coast and Dr. Dre specifically. And I'm going to do a segment on that. I promise y'all I will. But I can't find any true connection between The Realist and any of the other OGs from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You know, DOC, Erykah Badu, Erotic D, Vanilla Ice, list goes on. He kind of came up on his own, it seems. You also had Master P, and let me tell y'all something. I don't know what this era thinks about Master P, because time hasn't done Master P too much good. If anything, he's a relic due to the fact of Cash Money's rise. He was usurped by Cash Money Records, and basically after Cash Money Records came about, Master P was done with. But he made his entire career off of sounding like Tupac and claiming that he knew Tupac early on in Tupac's career when he opened up tour for Tupac Shakur on some of Tupac's early records. Not saying that he didn't know him or he did know him, because, I mean, there's many of confirmed stories of him opening up for Tupac. But man, after Pac died, you talk about gobbling a nigga's whole style. Him and his fucking brother, they both sucked Tupac juice through a straw and regurgitated. It made him millions of dollars, but also sent this nigga to prison. Because, you know, absolute power and money is corrupting. It'll make you believe you're something you're not. It'll make you do things you wouldn't normally do because you have access to doing those things. Now, I'm not saying this man wasn't no goon or no crazy person before that. But if you got money in your pocket, it'll make you think you're Superman. Especially when you got an infinite amount of cash money coming in. Almost like the floodgates. And the similarities between him and Master P, looks, voice, lyrics. I mean, you didn't know if one was writing for the other, but they was both Tupac clones. This guy right here, it's kind of a shame because Tupac, you know, said a lot of things about Ice Cube at the end of his life. You know, he was quite upset with Cube for whatever reason. I guess because Cube, you know, came out with the West Side thing kind of simultaneously to what Tupac was doing with Death Row and the Outlaws, and by building up, you know, the group between Mac 10, Dub C's, and Cube. I guess Pac, you know what I'm saying, figured Cube was biting. And if Pac would have been alive, he would have been calling all these niggas biters, man.
You're biters. All your homeboys are biters.
Beat biter, dope style taker. Tell you to your face, you ain't nothing but a faker. Beat biter, dope style taker. Tell you to your face, you ain't nothing but a faker. Beat biter, dope style taker. Tell you to your face, you ain't nothing but a.
Now let's get back to this cornball. Lil Zane is one of them artists who popped up out of nowhere through the vehicle of the Friday movie via Ice Cube, once again, as I was stating earlier. And people in the hip-hop community immediately saw through this industry playing bullshit. Now this guy right here, he gets special attention from me, especially with Gene Deal making the most recent accusations that him and Puff was in some uncompromisable situations. Peep this
Emotional
cornball.
moment for sure because I think he's seen qualities in me that I guess he's seen in Pac.
Right.
And then actually meeting me,
Yeah.
we had, I guess, similar energy to him because he asked me a question, and when I answered, he said, "Yo, that's exactly what Pac said."
Which this is.
And he got real emotional.
So this is
shit.
real. This is true.
Real. Yeah, this is real shit. And matter of fact, we was out here in LA in Enterprise Studio.
Yeah.
And you know, I think he had a love for Pac like people don't understand. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I told you when the camera was off. Sugar's a misunderstood dude. You know what I mean?
Rest in peace to my nigga Stretch, my nigga Pop. So much pain.
Cornball. Now, this next dude right here, it brings me a little pain to speak on him because before this incident happened, I was actually a fan. And then to see my son, open up for him in San Antonio, that was dope. But this situation wasn't. And if you wanted to be like Pac, you could never do it like this, homie.
Nigga, don't act like you don't know who I'm talking about.
It's your worst day. Run and tell somebody it's your worst day. It's your worst day. Run and tell somebody it's your worst
If
day.
you haven't seen it, in it you will see Zero on the ground in what some describe as a defensive position, and you see a man attacking him, punching him. The rapper says this was after he was lured away from a restaurant and attacked by several people on Saturday night. While we do see the rapper there also trade the truth in the video, he's wearing the orange shirt here. He is not punching Zero. He's not laying his hands on him. But here's what the rapper told us when he spoke one-on-one with our very own Isaiah Carey at his home here in Houston today.
Now, you said you were lured into an ambush. Who lured you? Do you know the people?
Oh, of course I know. Yes, Trade the Truth. Yeah, he asked me to, after I was finished doing what I was doing with a fan, to come and speak to him. So I went over there with the intentions of speaking, and speech is not what went on. Like, that's not what took place. Speech. So it was a lot of, like I said, I was sucker punched, and then I was jumped after the sucker punch.
You must have let Jay Prince put that battery in your back. Did y'all see how them niggas did gunplay? Man, if you on the news dry snitching and telling the nigga whole government and everything to the goddamn news and shit, imagine what would have happened to 50 them if they'd have beat your ass like they did gunplay. You supposed to be the Mo City Don. Tupac, out of your league, my nigga. Facts.
See that damn wall.
Earl motherfucking Simmons. I reserved him for last. Because as much as Earl Simmons was loved and revered by a lot of people, he tried to sound like Tupac and Snoop at the same time. Facts.
Life goes on. If a fruit drink is to become preeminent, it is expected to have great natural flavors, you know what I'm saying? Real fruit flavors.
Yeah, natural. Preeminent.
You know, it's like any great team. Baseball fans. To be the best, you must what?
Practice.
You must taste like the best. Hey, yo, Crooked Eyes, you're a bomb tasting team. Natural. Real fruit juices, you know what I'm saying? Now, if a flavor isn't part of our team, what is it?
Booty.